All right, so here is another circle graph or pie graph. At this time, there were reported 63,361 volunteers in the United States. The pie chart below shows the different categories in which these people volunteered. So this time we are given a total. So it says find the people who volunteered in an educational capacity. So here's our grand total. And it shows us that 26% of them volunteered. So we are going to turn our percent into a decimal. And our math problem is 63,361 times 0.62610. All right, so 16336. You know what? I have a calculator, so let me just use that. So 63,361 times 0.2610, and it says round to the nearest whole number because you can't have part of a person. If you do, that'd be very messy. So I have that 16,537 people volunteered in educational capacity. All right. Now let's look at problem number 5. It says the graph displays the number of hours per month that Amber spends in varying exercise activities. I can't read all of it. Do not reduce your fraction answers to lowest terms other than in the total fraction budget cell. When you finish, answer the questions below the table. All right, so hours spent exercising. So all of these numbers represent hours. It says, given the number of hours spent in 1 month doing yoga, how many hours would Amber spend on yoga in 12 months? So this is how many hours in 1 month. All right, so she spends 15 hours in 1 month. So how many months are in a year? So there's 12 months. So our math problem for letter A is 15 times 12. So 15 times 12 is 180 hours per year. All right, what do you notice about the total? Okay, let's go ahead and do our graph here first. All right, so in the category of dance, we had 8 hours, right? In weights, we have 4 hours. For walking, 14 hours. Spin class is 10 hours. Swim, 9 hours. 9 hours. Yoga is 15 hours. Wow, this person is busy. So the total number of hours is 15 plus 9 plus 10 plus 14 plus 4 plus 8. So did you guys get 60? 60 hours of exercise in a month. So what fraction of the time do they spend in dance? So 8 out of 60. And it said not to simplify it yet. 4 out of 60. 14 out of 60. 10 out of 60. 9 out of 60. And 15 out of 60. Which is a total of 60 out of 60, right? Which is 100%. And so then we want to know what percent of exercise. So we're going to divide the numerator by the denominator, and then we turn that decimal into a percent. So we're going to do 13. So 8 divided by 60 is 0.1333. So we're going to do 13.3%. So 4 out of 60 is 6.7%, because we moved our decimal 2 places to the right. 14 out of 60 should be 23.3%. 10 out of 60 is 16.7%. And then 9 out of 60 is 15%. And 15 out of 60 is 25%. So when we add all these up, what should we get? We should get a 100, or excuse me, 25 plus 15 plus 16.7 plus 23.3 plus 6.7 plus 13.3 is 100%. This is 100% of her exercise in a month. So she spends more time doing yoga, and next in line she walks. What do you notice about the totals in the fraction of budget column, and the percent of budget column? So what do we notice about these? They both equal 1. 100% is equal to 1, and 60 over 60 is also equal to 1. They both equal 1, or 100%. Same thing. Reduce all your items in the fraction of budget columns and then add them together. Do you get the same final simplified result that you did in the table? So it wants us to reduce these. So we can divide 60 by 4 and 8 by 4, and we get 2/15. So 8/60 is the same as 2/15. Let's see. This would be 1/15. 14 divided by 2 is 7/30. And then this would be 1/6. And then that would be 3/20. And then that one can't be reduced, can it? Yeah, it can. 60 divided by 5 is 12. So this would be 3/12 or 1/4. So then if I ended up trying to add all these, basically I'd have to find common denominators. Well, guess what the least common multiple is? The least common multiple is 60. So I would go back to what I got earlier, and I would add up all of my numerators, and I would still get 60 out of 60. So yes, I would get exactly the same. All right, so now we have a line graph, and I did notice on your test, your Unit 4 test, you have one line graph. So I want to make sure you saw an example with a line graph. All right, so it says Trisha and Sandra love to go to restaurants but want to save money by eating at home. The double line graph, this is blocking my words. I don't know if y'all can see that. They ate at restaurants per week. So this shows how many times they ate at restaurants for a 7-week time period. So Sandra is the solid line. That's kind of, what is that color? Dark orange, burnt orange. And Trisha is the dotted line, that's blue. So in the first week, Trisha ate at a restaurant twice, and Sandra or Chandra ate 6 times. All right, so the question is, how many meals did Trisha eat at restaurants during the 7-week period? So just looking at Trisha, the blue lines. So the first week was 1. The second week was 3, right? The fourth week was 1. That was the third week. The fourth week is 4. The fifth week was, what comes between 2 and 4 is 3. The sixth week is 5. And the last week was 6. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 18, 19, 23. So I figured out that Trisha ate at a restaurant 23 times in 7 weeks. What was Trisha's rate of meals at restaurants per week for the given 7 weeks? For example, compute a unit rate for the given data, round to 2 decimal places. In other words, it wants to know what is her average per week. So basically, we would divide 23 by the number of weeks, and it says round to 2 decimal places. So I'm going to use my calculator. 23 divided by 7 is 3.285. 285 would round to 29. Sorry. Hold on. I got that backwards. Let me get rid of this. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. So 23 divided by 7. It stopped participating for me. So 23 divided by 7 is 3.285. Well, that 5 turns my 8 into a 9. So the average or the unit rate per week is 3.29. The next question, how many meals did Chandra eat at restaurants? So Sandra is the dark orange. So the first week was 6. Week 2 right here would be 5, right? 5. Week 3 is going to be 4. Week 4 goes straight up and I get half of 4 and 6 is 5. We're on week 5. Week 5 is 2. Week 6 is going to be 3. And the last week, week 7 is 4. So is that 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 11, 15, 20, 22, 25, 29. So we have 29 meals. 29 meals eaten at restaurants for Chandra. All right, what was Chandra's rate of meals at restaurants per week? So if we had 29 meals divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 29 divided by 7 is 4.142. So that 2 leaves that 4 a 4. So on average, she ate about 1 meal more a week than Trisha. During which week did Trisha eat more meals at restaurants than Sandra? Well, it's the only time that Trisha's line, the blue line, goes above Chandra's, which are weeks 6 and 7. So weeks 6 and 7. So even in week 5, week 5 she did as well, right? So week 5, Chandra ate 2 meals and Trisha ate 3. So weeks 5, 6, and 7, Trisha ate more. She ate at restaurants more, I should say. All right. So now we have a bar graph. So you got to read the 2 axes of a bar graph. So here, these numbers represent the number of students. And these are the grades that students earn. So if you look at this bar graph, it'll tell you that 4 students earned an A. What about a C? How many students earned a C? Well, that would be 9 students earned a C. So that's how you would read this. How many students made a B on the midterm? So this many students earned a B, which would be 7. How many students were in the class? Well, how many students made an A? 4. How many students made a B? 7. How many students made a C? 9. How many students made a D? That would be 3. And unfortunately, 2 people failed. So how many students is that? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 20, 23, 25. 25 students. So the next question is, what percentage of the class made a B on the midterm? Well, out of 25 students, 7 made a B. So I have 3. 5, 35, and that would be a 7. So that'd be 49, and then 10 would be a 1. So the percent, the decimal is 3.57, but it wants a percent, so we're going to move their decimal 2 places to the left. Is that right? What percentage? Oh, I divided it wrong, you guys. I should have divided 7 by 25. Oh my goodness. Ugh. I'm sorry, I knew that wasn't right. So 7, I wrote that absolutely backwards. So our ratio is 7 out of 25. So 25 doesn't go in the decimal box. The 7 does. I apologize. All right, 7 divided by 25 is 0.28. So 0.28 would be 28%. 28% of the students made a B on the midterm, 28%. All right, so then it says, what percentage of students made a passing grade on the midterm? So they consider a passing grade either an A, B, or C. Well, since 3, 4, 5 did not pass, right? Out of 25, 5 did not pass, which means that 20 out of 25 passed. Or we could have added 9 plus 7 plus 4, and we would have got 20 as well. So 20 divided by 25 is 0.8. So that means 80% of the students passed the midterm. So good job, you guys. That's awesome. All right, so now you guys try letter D, and then we're going to come back for a couple of word problems. So go ahead and pause me, try these on your own, and then come back and check your answers, please. All right, now we have how many students made a B on the midterm. So this time we have, first of all, I'm going to answer letter B. How many students were in the class? Oh, well, never mind. So how many students made a B on the midterm? So it's halfway between 8 and 10, so that would be 9. And now we want to know how many students were in the class. So 4 kids made an A, 9 kids made a B, 12 students made a C, 7 made a D, and 3 made an F. So 7 and 4 is 13, that's 25. 25 would be 35 students. Did y'all agree with that? Let me make sure. 13 plus 12 plus 10, yes, 35. What percent of this class made a B on the midterm? Well, since 9 made a B, out of 35, we're gonna divide and get our decimal first. 9 divided by 35 is 0.2571. So then we're going to move our decimal 2 places to the right, and we have 25.71%. And really, I should have gone one more place value. 25.71%. What percentage of the students made a passing grade? Well, we had 4 and 9 and 12, so we had 25 students. So 25 students out of 35 students made a passing grade. 25 out of 35 is 0.714 because I have a 2.8. I have 2.8. So when I move my decimal 2 places to the right, I will find out that 71.43% passed the midterm with an A, B, or C. All right. So here are some problems that you're going to need to know how to do. So I just want to make sure we went over this type of problem specifically. All right, so John is bowling 5 games. His first 4 scores are 100, 85, 75, and 110. Hold on one second. Hey, bud. Hey. Yes, it was delicious. It really was. Hey, I'm making a video. Let me call you back. Okay, bye. I'm so sorry. I didn't want to stop that and start over, so that was my son. All right, so anyway, these were the first 4 scores, and now he wants to end up with an average of a 95. So it tells us the average he wants, and it's asking if he has one more bowl, one more game, how much will he have to make on that last game in order for his average to be a 95? So the first thing we want to know is if we have 5 games and we want an average of 95 of a score of a 95, how many total points does he need to make in 5 games to earn a 95? Well, if we knew all the scores, wouldn't we add all 5 up and divide by 5? So this time though, it's giving us the average. So we want to know, okay, if I want a 95 and I have 5 games, how many points does that need? So instead of adding up and dividing, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to multiply and then subtract. We're going in the opposite order. So we're going to multiply the score he wants by how many games he'll play. So in order to earn a 95 in 5 games, I just put a 3, but I meant a 5 because he's going to have 5 games total. Let me get rid of this. So he wants a 95 average, and he's going to have 5 games, which means he has to earn a total of 475 points. Well, he's already earned some points. He's earned all these points. Well, how many total points has he earned? So now we're going to add up how many points he's already earned. He's already earned 370 points. Well, if he needs 475 points and he's already earned 370 points, that means his 5th game has to be at least 105. He has to earn 105 on his 5th game. That is the answer. Okay. All right, number 2, John is bowling 5 games. His first 4 scores are blah, 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 blah. He wants to end up with an average of 120. He wants an average of 120. So the first question is, how many points does it take to make a 120 average in 5 games? He's already played 4 games, but he's going to have a total of 5 games. So the first thing we're going to do is multiply the average he wants by how many total games he will play. He will play a total of 5 games. He wants 120 average. That takes 600 points in 5 games. Well, he's already earned these points. He's already earned some points. So how many points has he already earned? He's earned 120 plus 150 plus 105 plus 110. He's already earned 485 points. Well, if he needs 600 points, and he's already earned 485 points, then that means he needs a total of 115 more points. So his last game must be at least, it says the least amount of points, the last game must be at least 115 in his 5th game. Do you understand? So the process is multiply what he wants by how many total scores he'll have, figure out how many points he's already earned, and the last step is to multiply those 2 numbers. Subtract those 2 numbers. Find out how many he needs, subtract that by how many he's already earned. All right, you guys pause me for just a second, figure out the answer to this last question, and then come back and check your score. So John wants an average of 90 points for his bowling score. He wants an average of a 90. He's going to have a total of 5 games at the end. So we're going to multiply the average he wants by how many total scores he'll have. So he'll need 450 points to achieve the average of 90 in 5 games. He's already earned this many points right here. So he's already earned 335 points. He's already earned 335 points. He needs 450 points. So that means he still needs at least 115 more points. At least 115 points on his last game. That's what his score needs to be. Okie dokie. All right, you guys. So if you need any help with 4A, please send me an email or send me a text, and I will see you guys tonight.